Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming back again. This should be lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe it's lesson 5. Might be 6. I believe it's 6. 60.
I don't keep up with nothing like that.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go with 6, and so thank you for joining us again. My name is Diann Henry. This is my brother Steve Henry, and we are on. Well, I'm on a journey. He is taking me on a journey, I guess I should say, to find.
And your testimony is being recorded as we go.
Okay.
That's the only way you can do it.
Okay. And the quest is to free the worldly, to free us, our spirit, my spirit, from the worldly binds, and find the spirit inside. So I will turn it over to you, Steve, and here we go.
Yes, here we go again. But like you say, we're on a journey. A journey means that you got to be moving through things, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm on the other side and I know you're not there, I know I got to come all the way down to the first step and coach you in step by step. Now, you can't come in and learn nothing. I'm telling you what I see you need to print inside of you as being the gospel truth. Because it's the gospel truth. I show it to you. And the book told you a spirit of truth will going to come and show you all the things. That little second graph on that first page, that's the spirit of truth. It can't be denied, can it? If you don't follow through 12 steps, you know ain't going to be nothing at the other end. If you stop on the journey...
Let me pull up the graph. Hold on.
We can talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. See that one on the bottom there?
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the school and you don't go to that 12th one, how you going to see the whole thing? You can't, right?
Right.
Because the things, they can't ever change. Whatever's in each one of those spiritual doctrines can't ever change. Everything come to the planet after them is way down the road. But you got to get the foundation of them in everything. You don't find these things inside of you here. You print them. I'm looking at them. I'm telling you where they are. And you cannot argue with them, right?
Right.
Because you can't go backwards. You can't take out 30. Everything must be right now. But you just can't jump from your mind way back there at the beginning of time to right now. You can't go day by day with 24 hours and get closer to right now. You got to have faith in whoever leading you. You got to jump. I'm going to catch you. You easily learn to swim that way. But when you think, well, I got you jumping out there where I am and I'm going to let you drown, what can I do? But you can't look at it that way. We just going to be talking. And it's just like I was telling you earlier about going with the scuba diver. It won't mean nothing to you the first time, but every trip you make there, something's going to go to waking up to you. And then you'll be there chasing things and taking people that just like they are. Because the spirit raised up inside of you. Regardless of what it is, I don't care what it is. If you hang around the Taliban or the church, that's the same crowd, religion. It's going to look right to you, isn't it? If you're young and that's what they tell you all the time, it'd be just like at the Trump rallies. They be telling the people what to see. They're telling the people what to do. They're telling y'all right now they're going to try another overthrow. But you know what the people doing? Praying and singing and worshiping. You know, the book said that they're going to be doing all of these things just like they've been doing it. All the things are falling apart around them. They ain't paying no attention. They still singing and dancing and married and being married, buying and selling. Until all of a sudden there it is. Because you got to get inside of you. And it's easy to tell if you don't know where to go right now. You can't think of one thing in creation or one place in creation that can ever change. You know that, right? They can't change, nothing can change. You have to change away from wherever it is yourself and go one way or the other. If you don't never change away from sitting in Statesboro, Georgia, where you gonna be?
Sitting in Statesboro, Georgia.
Because you don't change away from it. But the moment you change away from it, where are you going from?
Gone from Statesboro, Georgia.
Okay, so now if you don't have something on your journey by the time you get to Statesboro, Georgia, you're gonna stay there and plan to get it. But if you're crazy enough to think like that, here comes something on the outside calling you. Hey, we'll pay you them tithes and I'll get you something for nothing. And you buy it. How can you do that? Somebody's going to give you something or sell you something, and you can't never take possession of it. Does that make sense to you?
No.
In your whole life, running, praying for something that people have been praying for from the beginning of time, you know it can't change, and you won't let it, if it could, right? They teach you, don't let it change. It can't change no way. It ain't nothing. How's it going to change into something? The same teachings that they killed the Christ and his followers, they in the back room talking. You can't be out in the world and do nothing that's not out there. I can talk about these things because we're not out there in the world. When you're out there in the world, you have to talk about the things that's out in the world, right? Okay, now, you got to admit it. All these things was right there all the time, and you know it, but you hadn't seen them or heard them, right? And you know, well, darn, if he got to come back from the college down to the kindergarten to show me the ABCs, he got to be. It's your dreams. You don't remember your dreams? But they call you out. They teach you to sing the songs of in the mighty name of Jesus. In the mighty, it's a spirit. No, there's no spirits out in the world. They're evil spirits. They can't come in. There ain't no evil on the inside of you. How it gonna be? You can corrupt what's in there and bring it out. But those are the things you'd be forgiven for. But when you don't find a way back in there, no one can help you. How? If you can't find a number right now and you die, can you get in there and have to go to number 45? Will that do you any good? Ain't nobody in there but you. Will it do you any good if you don't know what 45 is?
No.
You can't remember it, because when you remember things or learn things, if you're not constantly on to them, it fades away. You never need the alphabet again, but it can't fade away. Only time you can use the alphabet for after that first time is to show somebody how to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't use it again because it changes into the vowels, it changes into the syllables, it changes into the words. It's doing its part from then on, right? All the way to your conversations, and you're reading and writing, the alphabet doing its part. It can't be in the alphabet at normal. It grows into it. Like I said, you don't have to find none of these things inside of you. Matter of fact, you don't have to find that Spirit of Christ. You ain't gonna find it. Just know that it's there. Remember what he said in that 14th chapter. It ain't his voice you're hearing when you can do something inside it, but it's the one that's over him. You have to come through that, like the women I was talking about, the people who brought the gifts and in the cloud. They came through that ground. The one who's out there worshiping and praying, they don't know that ground. You can't find it. I'm giving you the picture of it. I'm revealing it to you. That's the glory of it. It ain't gonna change. It's not the picture, but the workings of it. Those windows, they are all there in the tree of life inside of you. Yeah, I don't know anybody who write or talk about something that's not out in the world, they got to do it from inside in the tree of life in the gospel truth of Christ. You don't know that? The thing about the gospel of Christ, every person that hears these words, they hear the same thing. Even though we have different perspectives, but inside there, it's worked out. When you hear I'm talking about this word come from the Greek word or something like that, you believe that? Can't nothing change. If the number one come out and they call it uno over there in Mexican, did that change?
No.
At the whole time, it's still the same number one. On the inside, it translates. It's still the number one, right?
Yes.
Same with all of them. It can't change. So when you hear them say this comes from that word, that it's gonna change. It ain't not one single thing in creation can change. Now the tree, the leaves fall off the tree, but on that day, in time and space, it either had them or didn't. That can't ever change. Every time you hear World Trade Center from now on, it's not there, but everybody knows exactly what it is because it's inside, right? But now anything not inside, you don't know what it is. But anyway, we are. What was that last verse we read? We were talking about the as long as you're looking in the Old Testament, you're gonna remain blind. Your heart gonna be blind. I'm talking from inside the heart. You can't receive it if you're trying to look in the Old Testament. That don't mean when you hear, leave all of that at the door. This is a window inside of you. It's mine. It's got the whole thing. You can't bring nothing into it from outside. If I don't show it here and you see it from out there, this can't change. That means you're in the wrong place. If you're in the wrong place, what good that's going to do you? Because the further you go on the wrong road, the further you get away from it. You know, the gap grows wider and wider when you're on the wrong road, and it ain't going to run parallel to it, right? Okay, and but now we're gonna do another verse. Just these verses you add to this character doctrine. You can't put none of the others, even from talking about the same thing from a different character. I have to put the one that I see for everybody. You can't get it from one place. It's not from the person, it's from this place, gospel truth. It's where I use things. Because everything out there had to come from that grid. Anything else is a man-made doctrine. You go to the grave with the ones who put it together. But the others, they stay just like the alphabet forever. So, the one coming up, we're going to use the Hebrew in the 8th chapter. And the emphasis start around about the 8th verse and go to the end. It's only about 15 verses or whatever. But our point being, the words of God are already inside of you. But if you chose the ones in the book, you can't have the ones on the inside. It can't work that way. And by the way, when I send you to these things, Diann, these things are in the Old Testament. They brought them in their era, saying, don't go back there, because if you go back there, you're not going to be able to see them. You're going to be blinded. So don't let me take up all the room. You got any question to what I was just saying about the Hebrew 8 and something?
I don't think I have any questions. I'm not familiar with that verse, so when we listen to it today.
I'm glad we done this. You can't, anything you familiar with, you can't see it in this. Because the same exact thing, I see it different. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all have a different perspective. But since I'm the one on the inside, when I show you what I see, if you slightly off, you think I need to conform mine to your vision, or yours need to come to mine? Because I see from here to there, which means I got to come from there down to here to kind of ease you that way. Now, I know what step you need to take because I know where it's going, right? But if you don't know where it's going, but yet you guess at it, can that be good or bad for you?
Man.
So everything is exactly in place. Now, if you get one fraction off in the numbers, can you obtain the numbers?
No.
You got to be right in the spot. They're part of you. They already there. You have to get into that window. All the things you see, the computers and TVs, all those things are inside of you. Once you see the motion picture, the people who've been seeing them, they've been putting them on the TV, in the movies. That's how you see it. You can't make it out there. They're the creators. You create by bringing, you give up your will and you follow the dream. Everyone follow the dream. That's their thing you see. Everyone trying to make it, they're out there praying. And out there praying is against God. God is a spirit. The spirits are inside of you. If you're outside of yourself praying with anybody, you're worshiping an idol. You're praying to an idol. You can't have it out there. You know, the people don't know it. I mean, because they've been taught wrong. The Bible tells you you've been deceived. But when you know something, you can't. You'll be a hypocrite if you try to put something to someone that you don't know, right? And the worst thing you can be is a hypocrite. But when you see something that you know, it can't change and you know exactly where it is inside of you. That's what you got to show somebody. You don't show them they're wrong. You show them what you see. You can't tamper it to fit them. How? Would that be fair to them?
No.
If I say the things to you that I know you want to hear what you already got in mind, right? But the truth is a totally different story. It can't change. That being the case, you won't find a single one can object to not a single word. They've been doing it all their lives, but they've been doing it backwards. People don't lie. Creation always expands. You know, all of the number 792 didn't come before the one. It's an grid that can't ever move. And every time one of us see it from in the middle of anywhere, we know exactly what it is, except the ones who don't know where they are inside of it. Everyone who played with that computer, they see it plain as day because it's given to you from the inside. All the things that people did, it's given to you in the spirit. It's yours. But if you don't know it, you are on the outside. How can you receive it? The typing. Someone bought typing here. You play with that thing a while, it's yours, right? But we don't need none of that no more. The things have done. If you know how to pronounce any problem, God is living. Pronounce it into Google. It's got everything. And if it's now some of these things I bring, they don't have yet, but they will. But my thing is the people who have been deceived. Those are the ones that are blind. If I go to the other side of Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, what you all back here gonna do? You can't see what they're doing now, right? Or you'll be the craziest person in the world to see what they're doing, going into the cloud, richer than everybody, doing their own thing. You don't have to keep up with it. You just work from inside of you out. Everybody around doing what you see. They ain't out building the things themselves. They got that space stuff. It's a totally different character to them, but they can do it. There are people behind them. Listen to how because they inside. You can bring things from inside out. You can't do nothing on the outside and go around and around and around and be duped into false promises. And I just don't. I'm the one on the other side that can come back here. I ain't giving a damn about nobody that ain't cared about themselves. That don't make no sense with it.
No.
They ain't gonna care about themselves. They ain't gonna be outside of themselves. Because the only person that's called you in your world is who?
Me.
So, you think there's anybody else that outside of you looking out for you?
No.
That they know that you have a zeal, a homing device inside of you to go back to your creator. And they know, well, you got the con men leading. But you can't, the mafia. They're leading you through your ignorance and promising that you're going to go somewhere when you get into the next life. Now, they still living. And they promising you some next life glory. There's no need in being offended at them. It ain't there. Oh, you know that, right? They lying too. But it's your own fault. How you gonna know something that you believe? Someone teach you something and you can't ever use it. I don't understand. How do you stay at it? You can't use it. You don't know it. And the person who's teaching it to you believe it, then you hold to it. That makes sense to you? No. Not after being warned, it can't, couldn't it? I don't know. I never know you. You probably been doing the lids on me. I ain't never known you to be running behind that church shit. I just ain't never seen how y'all can do that. I just don't see it. I know that if I had to do the reading and writing, I can't go listen to nobody telling me how the caveman done it. They didn't do it back then. All of the things are right here, and you don't know it. Everything in God is right. It's inside of you. And just in the conversation, just keep getting it slowly. It's going to show you the truth. Who can argue with the truth? But it ain't just for you to have. You got to use. The rest of them blind too. But you're all right. All you got to do is let your brother talk to you, and we recording it. Hey, trust me, you're going to find it. It's going to be, the thing is, you just can't look for it. And for me to show you things up higher than right next to you, how you going to see it? Because we people who hadn't changed in a while, it's kind of hard to change again. You know that, right? When you went to school and they promoted a year, that was no problem, right? But when you work about 5 years and then you really need to go to another industry, problem, right? Yeah. Because you've been going around and around, hardening your heart in that same area, that same circle of people, same thing. And that's all. You don't know that everything is yours, but you got to keep going to get it. But the moment you say those killing 4 letters in a word, which says mine, dead. Because the moment you say mine, ain't nobody in there but you. How you gonna let it go? All those things outside of your skin is out there for you to pass through. If you see a landmine, you don't go over there. It got so and so stuck. You got to pass those things because everybody's trying to go to bring their things to the world. You ain't gonna do nothing like that. That's the devil. It's the devil. Do you know that, right? Anyone holding you on the outside of your skin, the book keep telling you through many verses and all the characters, you got to say bye to them on the outside world. They're not the real ones. If they were the real ones, the real one is like a Gladys Knight.
It's like what?
Gladys Knight, Aretha Franklin. You know why I say they're the real ones? Because you got to do your gift from that window to be in the cloud. How else you gonna get in there? With somebody else? You got to be part of it. If you go in there with Michael Jackson, you got to be a dancer or music. You got to do something. Because each thing got only one person can bring the vision. Everybody else has to be part of it. Somebody has to put it together and produce it. Everybody got to do different parts. This one got to play this got to do that. And it makes that one big thing, and they all come in together. You know what I'm saying? You just don't say, I'm of his character, let me come in. You got to do that. Do you see the people out there dancing like Michael Jackson, skating on TV, doing that stuff? They coming in on the good. It's his spirit. His spirit living through them. It ain't no good to me and you. We don't do that. But we want to hear, some things to make us feel good. That shit's gonna be the things from your lifetime. The things that's for your lifetime. Those are things that motivate you. The singers or the people that are Justin Bieber, them, they don't fit us. You know that, right? Because the calendar, the things you do in your lifetime is the only place you're gonna find the things that's contained in your lifetime. In other words, if you come out when they was in the 5,084s, your numbers got to come from in there, from 85s up to whenever you leave. You can't go back and get number one. Like, some of us apparently seem to think. Regardless to who says so, they're not your enemy. They don't know because you don't know. It said you were going to be blinded, but you're not thinking. You can't see nothing with your ears. Your ears are for hearing. When you hear something, that's what it is. You have to see it in your heart. You got eyes in your heart and eyes in your head. When the eyes in the heart see 2 + 2 = 4, and them eyes in your head, they see that 2 + 2 = 4 on the board, they know it's right. Yeah. And by having it in your heart, you know when it's wrong too, right? But it won't match the one that the 4 sees. The 4 can't change this inside. That's the gospel truth. Everything you know inside that area, we see the same yellow, we see the same blue. We in that area. That's the spirit of Christ. It ain't no man nowhere gonna come break you into somewhere. I don't know where. Well, that's the story they have to tell. They're the devil. The spirit. The devil is the spirits out of the world. And the math don't lie. If it's out in the world and you claim it, how can you come back inside? You can tell through the writers of the Bible, they're talking to the people who, just like right now, I'm not out in the world. Shit. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't care who out there. No, I can show anybody how to come inside, but I can't come outside and do it. I mean, would that make sense to you? We here to be put on the inside to set the gifts outside. I'm on the other side. But when you set something outside, it's like I come back and I started that Facebook page. One thing, the people on the Facebook page, all they got to do is daily, just keep opening up. Because I kind of had to go back to my daughter's character. It's not an individual that has a character in the house. Everyone that come down that pipeline gets inside of themselves in my daughter's window. Any daughter I have has to go in that window. You don't have individual daughter, one for this and one for that one. It don't work like that. You got one mama, one daddy, one of everything, one cousin, one brother, one sister. They all have to go in that same window under that character. But it's the same thing inside. You're just catching a ride to the inside. Once you get to the inside of your own self, you can do what you want to. And I don't know how y'all don't know that. It's your dreams, but your dreams, once you don't bring your dreams out by like 16, the next generation gonna bring it. And you gotta bring something of that same character. And it's not out there yet, the one you're gonna bring. You know what I'm saying? If you had to bring us a poem back in the beginning days, you can't bring out now this here now. They all been out already. The next generation is everything. It's just like the numbers. If you see the numbers inside of you, they keep going one on top of the other. The cars, the spaceships, all that shit is just like that inside. But you can't see it from the outside. You're looking into the past, you turn backwards. You got to turn around from there. Not by looking for it, just by coming here and forgetting about it. You got to forget the things that's in the past. They ain't never coming back. They already happened. They inside of you. All of them was given to you. But if you don't know that you're supposed to have took them, you're supposed to have been accumulating them to get on the other side while you've been going around and around in a circle, chasing after men and all kind of shit like that. You got to chase after people who going the way that you go, and you can't chase after nobody who ain't gonna go nowhere, can you? if you had a spouse that gonna go out every Friday night drinking and drugging, and you gonna go to work every Monday morning and all through the week, I mean, they don't look a little bit backwards to you.
Yeah.
Because y'all going in opposite directions, so how long it's gonna last?
Can't last very long.
So you going upwards and they going backwards. So if you make it last long, does that tell you anything? That, you think your luck will be bad if you wait there? Or will you be crazy as hell? Which is it? You got bad luck or no sense?
Maybe a little both, but I would say no sense.
I'm so glad that, you know what? I owe you an apology, and I'm going to do it here on the air. But, and I'm going to take it back. I know that when I put them there to you, it was going to scare you like it did. I didn't mean that. I don't fight nobody.
You fight me. As soon as I see the white in your eyes, you fight.
But I noticed it got you right. So
no.
I'm emboldened now.
Is that right? Okay. You ain't got to fight me, but I'm gonna fight you anyway. All right. So we have about a minute or so to sum up. Is there anything that you want to say? To sum up everything that you shared with me today. Before I play the scripture.
Well, no. See, how creation works. It's like the manna from heaven. The things from the inside is given to you for free. But you can't hold it over to the next time. It's got to happen right now. So, see, the only way you're going to be able to see anything, you got to let the past be the past. It ain't going to disappear. I'm going to bring you up here right now. And once you see it one time inside of you, it's a window. You don't learn it. You just don't look for it. Just let it go. Just go along with me. And it'll pull you into that spot. And once you see it one time, how you going to, it's like the alphabet. Once you see it one time, when you practice until you see it, how can anyone ever change you?
Can't.
Because but if you're out looking for them, how you going to find them? You don't know where to look next. And everything is exactly where it is. But by talking and laughing, you know everything. It's like you didn't know where someone lived, but you just rode along with them and laughed and talked. And don't even pay no attention to trees and the cows and the barns. You go 2 or 3 times. I mean, you can tell anybody how to get there right.
Yeah, pretty sure.
So anyway, I see you trying to tell me to go, but what was the verse we're going to do? The Hebrews. Because see, I got to know which part to open up. And it's going to be concerning. The whole thing, it's going to talk about the shadows and the concrete, but we ain't doing that now. It's going to show you the laws of God, God's word, where they are.
Okay. All right. Start now.
They're not in no book. They're inside of you. But if you don't know it, what good does it do? Anyway, I'm going to be out. Peace, sister.
All right. Bye.
But, I mean, I don't have to threaten to beat you again. You can call me up anytime. Because this is anywhere. I ain't nowhere near you. But hey, call me up. I'm out, Jack.
All right.
Chapter 8. Now of the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such an high priest, who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in the heavens, a minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle, which the Lord pitched and not man. For every high priest is ordained to offer gifts and sacrifices, wherefore it is a necessity that this man have somewhat also to offer. For if he were on earth, he should not be a priest, seeing that there are priests that offer gifts according to the law, who serve unto the example and shadow of heavenly things, as Moses was admonished of God when he was about to make the tabernacle. For see, saith he, that thou make all things according to the pattern showed to thee in the mount. But now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind, and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. In that he saith, A new covenant, he hath made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you again, and we'll see you next time.